Hey everybody, welcome to Beauty Inside and Out, where we say that you have to be you to be beautiful. And part of that is we understand that most of what we're trying to accomplish in the world of beauty is to be able to understand how it relates to us from the inside out. And today I have some massive experts with me to be able to share some of the beauty secrets and the beauty treatments and the brands that they represent to be able to have us not only look beautiful on the outside, but to be beautiful on the inside. And some of these my guests today are going to be able to share with you some scary terms that we use in the professional world, but the results and the end outcome that you're going to achieve if you're comfortable trying out some of these techniques and technologies that the aesthetic world is all about. So first, let me take a quick opportunity to introduce my guest. So Isabella Corrales, she's, did I say that right, Isabel? Kiara, say your last name for me. Isabel?
Yes.
Yeah, say your last name for me.
Caleros.
Caleros. Okay, good. I did pretty good. Isabel has been one of the leading experts in the aesthetic world for many years. She's been so instrumental to aesthetic books, aesthetic trainings, and has trained thousands of estheticians all over the world. So she really is kind of like, her brand is all about being the expert in that aesthetic world. And then we have Kristen Goop, who is, her brand is the Laser Chick, which I love that, Kristen. That's really cool. So you are from the Aesthetic Advisor Laser Academy. And we're going to tap into lasers and a few of the other things that you do as well. But from a consumer's perspective, I always find it interesting that we have these names that seem scary as far as beautiful skincare treatments throughout the time. So you're going to help us kind of bridge that gap in there. Yep. We have Lincoln Lee, who is all about dermesthetics. He is a professional skincare line. He's out of Beverly Hills, and he's going to share with us some of the challenges that we're faced as consumers when we have to choose skincare products, and what's the difference between all of them, and are they hope in a bottle, or is there some real results that we're looking for? And then we have Pooja Johari from 7E Wellness, and she's one of the professionals that actually trains the professionals. So she is all about making sure that particular techniques such as microcurrent are relevant to professionals being able to offer these services to the consumers. Now, we're going to talk some professional language here today, but I want to make sure that we break it down for you, our listeners, so that you're comfortable going into an aesthetic spa or salon or even a medical spa facility and asking for some of these services that are going to make a difference in the overall look and outcome. Because what we know to be true is that all of you guys want to look your absolute best and youngest at the end of the day, without going under the knife, right? Agree with that one?
Yes.
Without going under the knife. So Isabel, let me start with you, since you've kind of like gathered all of these wonderful people today. Give me a little insight as to what you're up to now and what you've done in the past that you're really proud of.
Well, I think that the skincare industry is just growing by leaps and bounds. And what I'm hearing out there is that consumers are confused. They're not sure what is the right thing for them. And I have worked with these individuals that are on your panel today, and all of them are experts in their own field. And we sit around and we talk about what is really true and what isn't, what's scary, what's not. And so I thought it would be a great topic to clarify the air for all the consumers out there and hear it from the experts themselves.
Beautiful. I love that. That makes a lot of sense. Now, in working with all of these people, you know, you're kind of known as the aesthetic queen in a sense of being able to really hone in on supporting educational technologies to procedures and treatments that are out there being done in all these locations. What's one right now that you're really excited about?
I am excited about the microcurrent. It's taken on a new role from the traditional standard microcurrent that we've been studying for the last 50 years. Also, the dynamics of using skincare products that not only sit on the surface, but now with these other devices and treatments, you've got skincare products that are now actually able to penetrate into the skin with microneedling, oxygen treatments, different devices. So the skincare is really important that you choose the right skincare when you are investing in yourself.
Oh, I love that. Well, then that leads us, Pooja, I'm going to go over to you because she said microcurrent. And I got to tell you, I'm beauty inside and out. I'm a licensed cosmetologist, but I still don't understand that in its entirety. So can you help us clarify microcurrent and why a consumer would want a treatment that's considered microcurrent?
Absolutely. Microcurrent, so 70 Wellness is pioneer in microcurrent. We have done this for 15 years. We have been training, educating in different schools and professionals, but we are also working with directly consumers to bring out right solutions for the microcurrent to be effective. So microcurrent essentially is tiny electrical currents that mimics the brain signal. So our brain communicates with our skin cells as well as our muscles to talk to it and to rejuvenate and to replenish the energy. And this energy is called adenosine triphosphate, ATP. And ATP is called the energy of life. And it is something that starts depleting as we age. So our muscles do not have enough energy to keep the skin and the structure tight. They start atrophying and they start working and falling into the crevices of our wrinkles and expression lines. Same thing as the energy of the skin cells. So microcurrent devices mimic the same exact signal, and it talks and communicates to the skin cells and the muscles to either make them replenish with more energy, more ATP. It boosts the ATP. In turn, it is also working on elastin and collagen, and it is helping to keep the hydration locked in. It also helps in pushing some of the products and the nutrients deeper into the skin. So it works on multiple levels. We also have microcurrent that helps to bring stress reduction as well. So we are working in essence inside out to make sure that, you know, stress is something that reflects on our skin. And so when you're really de-stressed, and then once you work with microcurrent, it energizes externally and it helps to reflect light differently when after the treatment is done. And it is very powerful. It is something, a lot of times people are familiar with Botox, and Botox is mostly lengthening the muscles. It's more invasive procedures, lengthening the muscles, and then it's freezing it. Microcurrent, in turn, it lengthens or shortens the muscles. It works on the muscles to re-energize it, and then it activates it. It helps so that it doesn't atrophy those muscles any further. Right. And it's the most natural way of being, of working in the anti-aging field.
Oh, that's awesome. So we're kind of tricking our brain a little bit.
That's right.
It just occurred to me that here we are, it's Halloween. So there's a trick and there's a treat right there. So microcurrent is kind of tricking the brain to be able to say, hey, this muscle is still, you're still active and you still need to generate so that we can still look younger, because as we age, we know that things just start to fall south, right? Yep.
Yeah.
My face is doing it right now. I'm gonna need some of that. Yeah. Perfect. Now, the other thing that Isabel talked about was microneedling. And I know that microneedling, I'm going to go over to you, Kristen, so that you can maybe create some clarity around microneedling. And I know that you're also a laser expert. So can you give us some insight for our consumers? Because microneedling and lasering, I mean, when I think of lasering, all I can think of is like the Star Wars, like they have these laser things that are killing people, right? So if that's the first image that conjures up in people's minds, I think that them going and lasering their skin sounds a little scary. So give us insight on microneedling and lasering.
Sure. Well, I'm an evidence-based esthetician, but I'm also a machine-based esthetician. So pretty much everything I do in my own spa involves a machine. and everything. And I don't use the term anti-aging anymore, just because I think every day we wake up, it's a gift. Every day we wake up, we age. There's only one way to stop it. That's to die. I don't want to do that. So I call it age management.
I
So I
love
want to manage my own age because I'm 54 now. And I want to help my clients manage their age. And how we do that is through different tools. And I'm very, very lucky. I don't have just one tool in my toolbox. I've got several. And yes, when you look at radiation, which is the entire spectrum from gamma rays up through radio waves and everything in between, where our machines fall is in the visible spectrum and also in the near infrared and sometimes closer to the infrared. And these are wavelengths of light that are non-ionizing. They don't cause cancer. They're not like X-rays, gamma rays, UV rays, or nothing like that. But they allow us to sometimes get to a person's end goal much faster than not doing anything. And one of the things nowadays is everybody wants to look younger, and they want to look younger in 5 minutes. And that's not possible. So what we try to do is give them options that will help them look younger over time. And again, with my lasers and my IPL devices, those are all light-based therapies. We can do things like get rid of age spots. We can get rid of reds, which are vessels and things like that. So basically reds and browns. We can get rid of hair. We can make fine lines look better. We can make acne scars look better. They can't do everything, okay? So it's important when you go find somebody that you want to work with, that you understand that maybe everything in your wish book isn't going to happen. I mean, I've had people come to me and want radio frequency microneedling, and basically they need a neck lift. I mean, it's not going to take something that's fallen so far down and push it back up. It's just not. Another tool that we have that I've been working with since probably 2009, 2010, is microneedling. And microneedling does sound scary because the word needle is in it. But basically what I tell my clients is we're making micro channels into the skin, because we've got certain ingredients like a native hyaluronic acid, which the Dalton weight, which is its molecular weight, is so large that it is not going to go through the epidermis without some help. And what that help can be is a microchannel. So if you term it more as microchanneling, it's a little bit easier on the eye or on the ears.
Yeah.
But that's what we're doing. We're taking a device with a very, very small little tiny needle. And what we're doing is our needles, and we're poking them in and out of the skin at a very fast rate. That allows us about 8 minutes to get products into the skin. And we have to understand what products are going into the skin, because some products aren't appropriate for it. But then they quickly close up, and we use it for things like dyschromias of the skin, so melasma. You can use it for sun damage. You can use it for fine lines and wrinkles. You can use it for acne scarring, scar revision. There's a lot of advantages. And the nice thing, especially since I live in Arizona and it's hot here, it plays really well with more skin types that my lasers might not. And also there's no thermal injuries, so it plays nice with a lot of people's environments.
Yeah, true, because lasering and then being out in the sun could create some dangerous situations for people, but you can't help it when you're in Arizona, like you're in the sun.
It's and that's why I tell, I also instruct, and that's why I tell my students, it's like, you know, there's some days if it's 126, you shut your machine down. You don't do it, because if you say don't go into a heated environment, unless you want them living at your office until October, don't do it.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Perfect. And you know, when we get into our next segment here, I want to be able to find out a little bit more about each of your companies and how you're making that brand transition to the consumers or even the professionals, so that we can make sure that everybody gets a little bit of that exposure on there. But the third thing that Isabel said that I really appreciated was that products today are doing more than just sitting on the surface. So Kristen kind of filled us in with a great insight that this microneedling technology is allowing bigger, you know, products that can't penetrate, an opportunity to penetrate through that process. But Lincoln, I know that you have a company of beautiful skincare products. So tell us a little bit about what's your specialty, and you know, what's your favorite product?
Sure. So my name is Lincoln. I'm actually a second generation skincare family. So Dermacetics was created by my mother, and she's a PhD chemist, and we've been around for about 40 years. And so I've basically been able to see from the beginning of professional skincare back in the 80s when everyone was using chemical or glycolic peels to just peel their face off to now. And just a swing from natural, organic to what we have here. And so I think that one of the biggest things that we see, and I think Isabel hit it right on the dot, was that we need education. There's too many, with the age of the internet, with so much media and information out there, there's a lot of people that are just selling a lot of snake oil, or they're selling hope in a bottle, per se, what you mentioned. And if you listen to what Kristen and Pooja and Isabel were saying, what we're doing is we're not creating magic out of a bottle. What we're doing is we're actually just sort of facilitating how the skin sort of turns over by itself. And our skin naturally turns over every 28 days. And so if you look at what 7E does with microcurrents, or what we're doing with microneedling, what we're doing is we're facilitating collagen growth. We're breaking down the skin. We're trying to help build it back up with better materials, or better collagen, or better elastin that helps our skin tight. Or the collagen will help our skin stay sort of bountiful and moisture and give you that. In Korean, we call it tang tang. So it's a sort of like a bouncy tang tang feel. Mm-hmm. And so what we try to do as a product specialist, Dermaesthetics has about 150 different products. We facilitate and we provide and we create products that are going to provide lasting results, but more so provide the nutrients that we need so that our bodies can recover. So what Pooja mentioned is, these microcurrents will create these ATPs, adenosine triphosphates, and these are like these energy stores. And I guess the best way we could sort of explain it to consumers is that, in the morning time, our skin looks really fresh and alive and healthy and bountiful. But then at the end of the day, it's sort of tired, withered, dull, and it's because we've exhausted our energy. And so when we sleep, our body is able to recover and build up and create more ATPs. And then at the same time, we release this thing called MMPs, and sort of it's just this waste and this trash, I guess, that our body creates, right? And so from a product sense, my goal and Dermaesthetics' goal is to create education of how the ingredients work and how do they apply and how they combine with modalities or machines, or how they combine with each other to become better. Like, why are vitamins better? Right? Why do we need vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, things like that? And so my job is to provide ingredients such as like glutathione or glutathione, so that helps to facilitate and help to build up these ATPs, because our bodies need to use it. And if you sort of analogize it to cooking, we are the raw materials. We provide the flour, the sugar, the eggs, the yeast, so that this machine, this mixer that Pooja or Kristen will utilize, can make this beautiful, bake a really nice cake, and then we add the frosting on the top, right? And I think right now, if you sort of stay within that analogy, consumers are looking at the frosting on the outside. They go, oh, you could just get rid of your wrinkles, or people will claim, get rid of your acne in one day, or get rid of your acne scars in 50 seconds, or whatever. And I think that kind of hocus pocus, or that kind of marketing, consumers are more aware, or becoming more aware with all the information out there. And, with brands, or with podcasts and videos like yours, they're becoming more aware that, they shouldn't just fall for these false claims, that they should actually research and go into detail about how these ingredients work. So what we're doing is we're not selling magic. We're just helping to recreate and speed up and just rejuvenate our skin by providing nutrients, modalities, or machines that are going to help build up and allow us to age gracefully, just like Kristen said.
Oh, perfect. And I love the way Kristen referenced it instead of anti-aging, because the truth is we're aging, right? It's not going to stop. I loved her age management. So these techniques that consumers can have done as services within their spa and medi-spa and salon locations are going to help in that age management. And then of course, products still play a very important role. And you mentioned some interesting things, Lincoln, because I mean, this is kind of like, I think this is the buzz. Vitamins like vitamin K, vitamin C, vitamin A, like those are popular ingredients that a consumer might be familiar with in regards to skincare. I mean, I know that when we eat those things in our vegetables and our fruits and drink them, we understand the benefits that they provide.
Yeah.
What are some of the benefits of like vitamin C to skincare?
Okay, so like, and I'll tell you, like, it's really hard because we have to get granular, because there's different types of vitamin C. And so, people will say vitamin C in a broad spectrum, oh, it creates collagen and it helps facilitate collagen synthesis. It's good for hyperpigmentation or dark spots. But if you get really granular, you got to look at the type of vitamin C that you're using, right? So there's sodium ascorbic, magnesium ascorbic, and then there's natural L-ascorbic acid, right? And I'm sure you're like, everyone's like, what is he talking about? This is
Really are the experts here. You're all talking a language that is like way above me here, but
yeah. So the best way I can analogize it is this: you can get ice cream. You can get organic strawberry ice cream. You can get artificially flavored ice cream, but then they're still called strawberry ice cream, right? And so people think, oh, if I just use this artificial strawberry ice cream, I'm still going to get the benefits of this organic natural strawberry ice cream or whatever. And it's not the case, because the nutrients break down in our bodies differently, right? One just might be flavored one way, but it's really not the best.
it's
And
not,
so
it's not the core ingredients that are designed to make a difference.
exactly. So sodium ascorbic and magnesium, these are synthetic blends of vitamin C, and they're there, and they do definitely have a good purpose, because they help to prevent this thing called oxidization, or expiring, the products to expire quickly. But natural L-ascorbic acid is actually the best, because, and if you see like that, if you ever see on the back of an ingredient deck like L-retinol or L-tocopherol or L-ascorbic, what that's referencing is it's chirally correct. It has this L protein on the outside of its cell, and so it sort of matches like a Tetris piece with the cell, so that it can go inside of your cell and help resolve or correct or provide nutrients within each cell. And you have these things on the outside called dendrites, right, that are just sort of connecting. And so with that said, L-ascorbic is the best vitamin C to look for if you're ever looking on the back of an ingredient deck, or you could look at it as ascorbic acid. And here, I know it gets really confusing, and what it comes down to is there's so much information, and there's so much misleading information in the market. My best recommendation would be to go to a professional skincare expert, like an esthetician, or someone out of Kristen's group, or Pooja's group, or Isabel, and anyone that they would recommend, or people that you trust that do know about skincare, and see what products that they're using, see what products that they recommend, because there's just so much misleading information that it really does take quite a while for just a consumer to understand, do I have dry skin? Do I have oily skin? And people will misanalyze their skin. So say you go to a retail clerk and someone says, oh, you definitely have oily skin, but it's like, I thought I had dry skin, combination skin. It's like, no, no, no. And then that person will prescribe them something completely wrong, and it'll damage their skin more.
And they're wasting money and time because they're not going to use it again. Yeah.
Well, 100%. I mean, that's why if you go to any girl's bathroom, you'll see 50 different types of
Don't
products.
come into mine. It goes on for days and days and days, and
Yeah.
I'm really, and truth be told, I'm confused by most of it. I'm not sure when to use what, and I really, I mean, especially the stuff that's kind of more of a professional brand that you might get in a dermatologist's office or a med spa or a high level aesthetic environment. Without the knowledge that that professional is providing me, I honestly cannot figure it out. It's not speaking a consumer language to me. So definitely to call on those aesthetic professionals to be able to help you out with that.
Yeah.
Now, because we're getting ready to take a break here in a couple of minutes, and Lincoln, thank you for using analogies to help explain that. That does make it so much easier to translate in there. And I can tell definitely that all of you guys are amazing experts in your field. So Isabel, I'm going to go with you just before we take a break real quick here, because you brought some really great people to the table. Tell us a little bit about what you're up to right now. Well, you got to unmute yourself.
Okay, so actually what I do right now is I do a lot of writing. I'm a ghostwriter for some blogs. I educate, I write curriculum, because I feel that a lot of what we're taught as consumers, as new estheticians, is outdated.
Mm,
And the
agreed.
education hasn't kept up with the technology. So I work with companies like 7E Dermaesthetics. I've done some work with Kristen, and they are so adamant to bring this new generation of millennials, of users, of consumers into today's market. And kind of span it's the theories, the thoughts of what we used to do in our grandmother's day. So that's what I'm writing, I'm educating, and I absolutely love it.
Oh, that's awesome. Perfect. Well, thank you for that. You guys, we're going to take a break here in just a minute. And when we come back, I want to be able to find out a little bit more about, the companies that you represent and how you're getting your brand out there. Because the other side of beautiful brands inside and out is to be able to look at, with the market so penetrated, with so much to offer, with consumers being so incredibly savvy, there's just too many choices. And so I want to be able to make sure that we're narrowing down why you. Why would they want to go to you? Why would they want to be educated by you or have a service done by you, and or buy your products type of thing, so that we can make sure that the consumers, now that they've been educated by all of you, can make better choices in the end. And that goes as far as your personal brand as well. So as a Story Brand certified guide, I can help you guys really narrow your brand down and define what it is, that message that you're really trying to get out to your consumers. I call this particular product that I offer a brand audit. And if you're interested in getting a free brand audit, you can go to brandme.club, and that will take you to my website, and you can click on opportunity to be able to get a free consultation, and we'll discuss how do you get your brand out there, how do you make your brand connect and resonate. Now, it doesn't have to be in the beauty industry, it doesn't even have to be a beauty product. It could be that you're a freelance designer, artist, service provider, or maybe a business that actually does sell products. Any of those, I can provide you with that free brand audit. So stay with us, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back, you guys, to Beauty Inside and Out. We've had a great conversation with 4 wonderful guests that are all a part of the professional and aesthetic field here in beauty. And we were talking about their brands, from them being high-level educators like Isabel, amazing instructors to the professionals like Bbio, laser chick like Kristen, and of course the amazing line that Lincoln and his family started out by his mother. I love when we find out that beauty runs in the family, right? But Lincoln's particular company there. So we're going to get a little bit more into it, but we also have a new guest for our second segment here, and that is Sandy Lee. Andy, will you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do, and actually what you're doing right now? Now, for those of you hang on a second.
Right now I'm doing
Sandy, hang on. I just need to preface this real quick because you are on audio and video. So my audio listeners are not going to know if unless you describe it, okay?
Okay.
All right, perfect.
I'm Sandy Lee, and I am at Cold Front Cryo performing a cryo skin treatment right now where we're freezing fat. And so we do everything from a cryo facelift to fat freezing, slimming, toning, removing cellulite, freezing fat. And the most amazing part about cryoskin is that there's no contraindications, there's no downtime. It's not uncomfortable. It's cold, but it is not painful. Whereas cool sculpting, liposuction, which are your only other two alternatives to fat freezing, are very invasive, very uncomfortable, and a lot more expensive. So this has only been in the United States since 2017. So it's new and very few people have heard of it. And it is, it's on the uprise for the consumer to find out about it. So
I
that's what
love
I'm doing.
that. First of all, I want to be the person on your table right now.
No, I want to be on the table.
And I have heard of the cryo, because I think it started out kind of, you know, obviously it had to have FDA approval to be, you know, a service that we can offer. But
That's right.
I had heard about this a little far back, because, you know, there was the cryo pen. So you could, you know, if you had blemish or dark spots or things like that, that you wanted to kind of like freeze off, like how we used to freeze our warts back in the day.
Yes.
This was that kind of technology, but this technology, of course, has expanded into being able to, what does it actually do to the fat? Does it break down the fat and then the fat flushes out of us after we freeze it?
It is called T-shock therapy or apoptosis. And what it is it's the use of heat and then extreme cold, and it breaks the fat cell in half and causes the fat and toxins, I might add, to leave that fat cell, and then it enters into your elimination system via your kidneys and your lymphatic system. And it takes 15 days for your body to go through a complete lymphatic cycle to get what we freeze out of your body. So you can have a treatment every 2 weeks, but you need the 2 weeks for your lymphatic system to purge.
Interesting. So if somebody wanted to, say, eliminate some belly fat,
yes,
is that one treatment, or is that more than one treatment in order to kind of reduce some belly fat?
right. It is definitely more than one treatment. In fact, depending on how much fat there is you're peeling an onion. So we're freezing fat cells, your body's taking them away, but you can't do, you know, deep, large amounts of it. So it's perfect. I mean, the perfect scenario is for you to be in tip-top shape and all you have is this little tiny pooch of fat and we can just get rid of that. But that's not what most of us are struggling with. So the cool thing is, no pun intended, is that it's a handheld device. It looks like an ultrasound machine, and it's a wand that I can completely control and sculpt the body. Whereas with other modalities, they use a plate that goes down on the skin, and they can't really control the outcome as far as smoothness. And for example, I had a marathon runner that no matter what she did, her waist was straight up and down. So we literally froze her waistline so that we could create an actual hourglass shape, and it was amazing. And the funnest thing to do, I first went, is under the chin. As we age, that skin gets soft. There's a little fat pouch underneath there. And I can tell you in 2 or 3 treatments, you look like you had a lift. It's awesome.
That's fantastic. So you're working with a client right now. Obviously, for those of you on video, you can see she's kind of moving. What part of the body are you working on with your client?
I am actually working on the tummy right now.
Okay, perfect. Good. Thanks for sharing that. And Sandy, thanks for joining us today. I appreciate the information on that. Because again, you guys, in the aesthetic world, there's so much new technology that's happening that it's hard for us as consumers to keep up on it. So I want to put a special highlight to the companies that have joined us today on this. And then we're going to go into a little bit of a brand conversation here with that. So Pooja, will you tell us, give us a little insight. So you're 7E Wellness. Tell us where you're at and what your main focus is, and who's your ideal client.
Absolutely. 7E Wellness, we are in Carlsbad, California, which is close to San Diego, and that's where our corporate is. We started our brand with actually spa locations. So we were owning multiple spa locations with the 7E name, and that's how we were directly in contact with the consumers. Now, the technology we designed and developed has been very much with insight of how the science works and what kind of waveforms we need to tap into different parts of the skin. Because we identified there are so many muscle groups and so many layers of the skin that we need to work with. So we were designing that, and then we realized that just like working out, this needs to be maintained, and we constantly need to get this treatment and technology to keep up with the energy levels of the muscles and skin tissue. So we designed our own locations, and we were working with consumers, and then we realized that the technologies that we developed, like the MyoLift, the people were loving it and they wanted to take home. And so this is something that we designed with pinch and hold technique. So there are quite a few technologies out into the market, and because microcurrent has become one of the hottest modalities, we see celebrities' pictures using it, and it has recognized that how microcurrent can naturally enhance the skin and tightening and toning of it. So 7E went out and we started designing some of the professional devices, which will have a lot more waveforms to work with. And it provides the professionals to work to first cleanse, to first get rid of the detoxification, warm up the skin tissue, which helps to agitate the toxins internally, and it does a lymphatic drainage as well. And then it works with 3 different layers of the muscles separately to either lengthen the muscles or shorten the muscles. And so we started noticing a lot of it went into the education so that they could provide the right results. But every single time they were working with the consumer's skin, it was enhancing and providing skin health and well-being.
So can consumers come to 7E Wellness, or is it more professionals being trained?
So professionals are being trained, and they are utilizing the 7E tools or the devices. And we are going to very soon launch a consumer device as well, which will be more, yes. And so they can find that either through our website or through the consumers, to professionals directly retailing it.
Perfect. And give us your website.
It's number 7, E as in elephant, WELLNESS, 7ewellness.com.
Perfect. Good. So you guys can find out from Pooja. If you're a professional in the industry and you're looking for some of these new types of treatments or techniques, technology, or the machines that she's working with, please check her out at 7ewellness.com. Thank you so much. Kristen, all right, tell us a little bit about your academy, because it sounds like you also are training professionals, the Aesthetic Advisor Laser Academy.
I am. So I've been training aesthetic professionals, whether it's doctors, nurses, estheticians, how to use laser since 2005. So I've got about 10,000 across the world under my belt now. And also we train in, my husband's company trains in microneedling. So he's a dentist. When you take a dentist and you marry him to an esthetician, really cool stuff happens.
I love that.
Cases. When we started doing microneedling, we weren't together. He was doing it in his practice for cleft palate repair. I was trying to figure out how to work on my darker skin patients without hyperpigmenting them with acne scarring. We got together and we created an extra company. So what Aesthetic Advisor Laser Academy does is provide the training for people going into either light-based therapy or also machine technologies. And then I also have my own med spa because I still love to work on my own clients. I don't think people should really be doing, they're not, if they should be doing if they're going to be teaching in this industry. So I just came back from Boston. I was training in aesthetic school out there the last 3 days. And then we also have our device, which is Skin Stylist, that we manufacture and we sell to professionals.
And so this stylist device is what it's to me, this is what it sounds like, a handheld device that is going to do what, and where would I use it?
Well, it's only for professional use. We don't do home or consumer usage. So basically it's the device that pokes holes in the skin, or we also have nano cartridges to do, infusions in the top of the epidermis. So the professionals that are using it for acne scarring, age management, browns on the skin, dyschromias, melasma, scar revision. They're using it for quite a few things. And if you do, one of the things that I think that I found in my past 16, almost 17 years now, is once we're really starting to understand this industry, and we are just at the beginning of it. I mean, we truly have so much farther to go, but sometimes less is more. And a lot of times less is more. And so I have people coming in and they, say, well, I want you to nuke me. I want you to rip my face off. And
that brings up the Sex and the City episode with Samantha getting that peel.
Yes. And what we've really found, and what the science and the research supports, is less is more. So if somebody's getting a microneedling treatment for age management, making them bloody and looking like they're bleeding out their eyes, like that one photograph of Kim Kardashian who actually had a PRP treatment with microneedling, isn't necessary. The skin should look pink at the end of it. And one of the things that I think either Lincoln or Pooja had talked about, which is you do X amount of treatments and you continually have to do treatments. There's a lot of people out there that are doing like 6 treatments of microneedling and then they go, I'll come back in a year or so. Well, that's not really the way it should be done, because if you go to the gym and you work out for 6 months and you get in good shape and then you don't go for 6 months, what happens? So just starts sagging. So when I look at age management, it's a commitment by the client to continually age or manage their age. And what that means is they continually need to be going to professionals. And when I lived in Michigan years and years ago, we thought of skincare and treatments as a luxury. It's a necessity now because our environment is pretty harsh. We've got a lot of pollution and we have to take control of our own, basically, skin destiny. And what that means is you've got to let a professional work on you. I mean, I've had so many of my own clients come and they bought a bunch of stuff off of Amazon and they've messed up their skin so badly, and then they want me to fix it and they're upset that they have to spend more money.
So your program then is a certification. So anybody that's currently a licensed esthetician and or nurse, right?
Well, and so in Arizona, our laser laws have been in place since 2005. So anybody could be a career changer going into it. I suggest they be a health professional or an esthetician because it's really hard to get a job in the state of Arizona without having a dual licensure. But you could take my course. It's approved through the state of Arizona Department of Health Services and become a laser operator. But I suggest everybody have a background in skin because my client might not need a laser that day. They might need dermaplaning, or they might need other
services that are required an aesthetic or a medical license. Yes. Oh my God, that makes so much sense. And it is scary. All this new technology is coming out, and it's scary that they're lessening the licensure or the expectation of a professional credentials in regards to some of this.
One of the things that, I mean, I've been an educator for a very long time. And one of the things that bothers me is I get on a Facebook group with estheticians and they're asking questions for their training. Professionals need to invest in their training from other professionals, not from a Facebook group. That is not where you get your information. That is not where you get your training. And it makes me, I can't go on them at night because I have wine and I know what I'll say.
Amen. Amen, Kristen.
I hear you. I have built educational classes just based on some of those forum groups where people are having expectations of other professionals providing them the education. But when they get 100 responses, 99 of them are different. Yeah. So it's not truth. It's not education. And again, I don't recommend that either in any beauty arena to be, I mean, it's great to be able to know that we've got you know, professionals and, you know, high level guests like you guys to be able to get some right information from. But definitely I'm gonna say that consumers, you must do your research. And so perfect. Kristen, give us your website or how people can find you.
Well, I've got a couple of different websites. I'll give you the easiest one to spell, which is skinstylist.com. So SKINSTYLUS.com. Anything that goes to, when you go in there, there's a contact form that you can contact me. Anything that goes to that, I get. I'm the CEO of the company. So I will get that. You can also go to Aesthetic Advisor Laser Academy. It's just a lot longer. So Skin Stylist is the easiest way to reach me.
Perfect. Kristen, thanks for joining us. I definitely appreciate that. All right, Lincoln, over to you. Give us again how consumers can get your products, because I don't know that you sell direct on your website, or maybe you go through other organizations as a professional line.
Sure. So we do sell some products on retail products or self-care products, because we don't call our products home care. Home care is what you could buy at sort of the drugstore and things like that. We call it self-care because we have professional treatments that are called pro care. Self-care is self-administered treatments or serums and creams and cleansers that you would use. You can get it on our website as well, but we definitely would recommend getting it from a professional. We're in about 24 different countries. We have about 7,000 different esthetician spas accounts that are currently using our products in the US. And the reason why maybe people will be like, oh, we've never heard of your company. It's because we're definitely an offline brand. We strive to keep our products offline as professional. We want our products to be professionally recommended. So we try to partner up with schools, aesthetic medical spas, doctor's offices. We do have different, like I said, we had 150 different products. We have a ton of medical products that are just exclusive for physicians as well. But you can get a few of our products on our website. We do have some pretty good reviews, just, you know, because we're in 24 different countries currently.
Yeah.
But Dermaesthetics, we are, you know, we consider ourselves a Korean American skincare company because we draw from Western medicine as well as Eastern medicine. I don't think a lot of people know the difference. But the Western medicine really, we're not a symptom-based approach where we say, oh, I got a scratch, let's just sort of alleviate that, or we have a dark spot, let's just fix that,
right.
Or bleach it out. What we really do is we take the holistic approach and we sort of get down to the core cause. Was this hyperpigmentation or this dark spot created by aging? Was it created by, you know, a scar tissue? Was it created by sun damage? Was it created by melasma, like a hormonal pigmentation, or is it just uneven skin tone? And so with that, understanding how the problem is created, we're able to resolve the issue. And that's why it's really important, because our products are very, very functional. They're very results oriented, but we want our clients, our end consumers, to go to get professional help, because companies like Kristen's or Pooja's or Isabel, they actually can understand and analyze and consult with your skin, especially based on your geographic location, your age, your ethnicity, something called your Fitzpatrick scale, you know, your skin type, your skin concern. So there's so many little variables that you have to look at in order to prescribe the correct product. And that's why we have 150 different products, because there's no way that one person is going to use all that, or there's one spa is going to use everything, because we have, you know, we're catering towards the whole world. And so we want to make sure that each person has the best single or double or triple product that they have for their regimen that will be beneficial for the skin.
Well, Lincoln, can you give us, because we're running out of time here, and I still want to get to
the easiest website you could find is dbhinc.us, or you can go to dermaestheticsusa.com.
Dermaesthetics USA, or DPHINC.US.
Yeah, DPH.
Thanks for being a guest on there. Sandy Lee, are you still there? I'm going to put you back on camera. You were just moving around a lot. So I'll put you back on video here and unmute you, and can you just tell us how we can find you?
You can find me at let's see, it'll be coldfrontcryo.com
Okay, perfect.
and or theartofskin.com.
Perfect, good. And Isabel, will you please give us some insight on where people can find you? And thank you again for letting us be gathering all these wonderful people today.
Well, I am here in Scottsdale, Arizona, where it's beautiful outside today. We're not scorching in heat, but you can contact me at Isabel Calleros, ISA, B like boy, EL, CALLEROS, like Sam, at gmail.com.
Perfect. So if there are some professional estheticians out there that need some support or need your connections, that's where you guys can go. You guys, thank you so much for being with us today. You know, we're all about beautiful brands. You guys all have proven that you are experts in your companies and in your procedures that you're offering to whether it's a professional or all the way down to the consumer. And good luck with everything that you're doing. And thank you so much for being on Beauty Inside and Out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Stay with us, you guys, because we're going to roll into November and December, and we're going to be talking to some more amazing brands on how they've been able to build their companies, build their consumer following, and create that specialty that says, oh yeah, my friend's going to recommend you immediately for that. And as always, remember, it's about being you in beauty. So thanks for joining us today. See you next time.